This is not just a bombshell. It's the kind of announcement that could shake the foundations of Washington, D.C. But before we get into that, please join Explain America. Like, comment, share. We really appreciate your support for common sense journalism. Now let's get to the story. President Trump's team is officially seeking criminal indictments against some of the top officials in former President Barack Obama's administration. That includes former CIA Director John Brennan, former FBI Director James Comey, and former Secretary of State Hillary Clinton. And if that sounds like a massive escalation, it is. CIA Director John Ratcliffe confirmed it himself. He didn't hedge or speculate. He said it clearly. Quote, "That's why I made the referrals. DNI Gabbard has made referrals. We are seeking indictments," unquote. Let's go to the tape.
So what I think I hear you saying is there is still an opportunity for indictments, potential prosecutions, accountability from those people who may have lied under oath, like John Brennan, James Comey, and perhaps Hillary Clinton.
Well, that's why I've made the referrals that I have. DNI Gabbard has made referrals.
Yeah.
And why we're going to continue to share the intelligence that would support the ability of our Department of Justice to make bring fair and just claims against those who have perpetrated this hoax against the American people and this stain on our country.
Let that sink in. The former head of the CIA, FBI, and State Department could face criminal prosecution for their roles in weaponizing U.S. intelligence against then presidential candidate Donald Trump during and after the 2016 election. Here's the heart of it. At the center of this scandal is the 2016 Intelligence Community Assessment, or ICA, ordered by Obama, shaped by Brennan, Comey, and DNI James Clapper. That report falsely told the world Putin had a, quote, clear preference, unquote, for Donald Trump. But now we know the truth. That claim wasn't backed by solid intelligence. It was cherry-picked from single vague source with unknown access to Putin and elevated as high confidence by Brennan and his team, even if after their own analyst objected to it. One intelligence official remembers Brennan brushing off those concerns with this: "Yes, but doesn't it ring true?" That's not intelligence work. That's propaganda. What's worse, the now discredited Steele dossier, paid for by the Clinton campaign and the DNC, made its way into that very same report, but was hidden. And it was presented to both Obama and Trump as if it were verified intelligence. This wasn't a mistake. It was intentional deception. DNI Tulsi Gabbard has now declassified key documents proving this was a coordinated operation. Obama's team deliberately excluded critical historical context, like the fact that Russia has opposed every Republican candidate going back to Nixon and Reagan, and even tried to fund Democrat campaigns. That context blew up the whole narrative. So they just cut it out. Meanwhile, Brennan, Clapper, and Comey slipped the Steele dossier into the classified version of the ICA, but kept it out of the public report. And then they leaked it to the media. The result was a years-long national psychosis, fake Russian collusion headlines, illegal FISA warrants against Trump associates, and a special counsel investigation that came up empty. But the real collusion was between U.S. intel officials and the CIA campaign. And that was to collude with Clinton's presidential candidacy. So this was a coordinated political attack using the full power of government to sabotage a president and deceive the public. And now, hopefully, we might finally see some accountability. According to Dan Bongino, who's now deputy director of the FBI, the level of corruption they've uncovered is stunning. In his words, quote, "I'll never be the same after learning what I've learned. We're going to get the answers we all deserve. Not my truth or your truth, the truth," unquote. And here's where it gets serious. Bongino says the culture inside the FBI has been engineered to protect the powerful and suppress dissent. Now, some have compared it directly to Russia's FSB, a state police force that targets political enemies. We now know Obama's intel agencies not only spread foreign disinformation, they used it as a weapon against the American people. This wasn't just a scandal. This was a direct assault on our system of government. And the only question is, will anyone finally be held accountable? Because if we don't get criminal indictments, if we don't get justice at the end of that, we don't have a republic. We have an authoritarian regime.